let's let Ziggy off the lead. Go on then. I'm at one of my other favourite spots here today. It's reasonably calm, there's a bit of a breeze. Shame that this whole field is grass. This will stay grass for, I think, 5 years in the rotation. I have found some flint in the molehills, but there's a really interesting Maglemossa spot just here and lots of Neolithic and stuff around in that area. But I'm heading for that strip of brown, and there's just about every era you can think of, Lithic era, in that field, UP all the way to Neolithic and Bronze Age. So we could be in for a find or two today. There's not many arrowheads on the field or microliths, but it's more, you know, scrapers and flake axes and that kind of stuff. Cores, lots of nice cores. It's a lovely warm day today. I'm just in a t-shirt. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, there's enough dirt to make a few finds, I dare say. Let's see then. Not the most perfect conditions today, but I won't let that get me down. It's good enough to make some finds, and here's a core. Nice blade core. Not sure what the date of that would be, but I'm guessing Maglemossa, Congomossa, middle to early Mesolithic. There is a way to date these, but I always forget. There's a kind of grainy something down here. Is that another core? Very muddy. Yeah, multi-directional core. Another flake here, and I saw a blade down this way. There's some lovely blades on this field. Just a short little blade section. But yeah, similar to the Villingbeek field, this site is covered in blade work. Is that retouched in there? No. Yeah, the Congomossa field, sorry, the Villingbeek field, is about 500 metres, 600 metres in that direction. So it's probably the same people living here or hunting around here as it was down on the Villingbeek field. I did just push this flake in, but now I'm going to check if it's a small scraper. No, and another something here. Looks like another core. No, just a flake from what would have been a lovely bladelet core. Yeah, core central around here, really. Let's have a wander around. Well, I did say this is a field for scrapers and such, and this could be the first one down here. It could equally be the striking platform of a really nice core. And that's exactly what it is, because there's a lot of resistance there. Gosh, it's a lovely striking platform. Look at this. Oh, it's long. Wow. That is a beautiful core. Quite an angle to the platform there, and one-sided. Oh, there's a flake running up from the bottom. Oh, I don't think it's UP though. I think that must be very early Mesolithic. They did have bipolar, or bidirectional, I should say, cores in the early Meso here. Very early Maglemossa. Wow, what a core. Flake running up here, through there. Lovely blade negatives. I suppose it could be very late UP. It does have quite an angle to the platform there compared to the face, angled downwards. The later ones kind of go straighter across the top. Yeah, that's a beautiful find. Wow. Can stay down there. Whew. Fun to see though. Beautiful stuff. Incredible. I'm a little disappointed to see so much stubble over the ground in some places. I'm sure there's lots of finds hiding under this stuff. This piece of plastic pipe. This caught me out in a previous video. It was a lot bigger then. and I thought it was a polished axe from a distance. Still find fragments of it around on the field. Nice looking little flake here. Blade flake. Just a waste blade. Just picked this one up. It's the truncated distal end of an end scraper on blade, or a truncated blade, blunted blade. It's thought that this might be like a bit of a penknife of sorts, and that the edge would get sharpened here, and that they'd use the corner to cut with and stuff, and that they would be hafted. But there's often breaks on the end where they've used too much force and it's snapped off the worked part. So, a fun little find. Wow, there's two blades down here. One's this massive one there on the end of my finger, and I spotted this one from a distance as well. Nice looking blade down here. Ooh, not the prettiest dorsal in the world. It's almost like a crested blade. Some early core prep. But let's go and pull up this lovely big macro blade down here, and an interesting flint as well. This is superb. Don't find many huge blades like this around. I'd love there to be some resistance on this. Oh, there's a bit. Wow. My word. That is such a beast of a blade. My gosh, I would not be surprised if that was UP, but at the same time it could easily be a large Conga blade. Modern break. Oh, I'm gutted. You can see the patina there, it's more grey than this brown. Gosh, to think that the other end of that is somewhere close by. I wonder how big that was. I mean, it could have been out here. Oh, wow. If that was complete, that might be my longest blade ever, you know. I do think it is Conga now with this thin facet across there. What a monster. Cool patina as well. I don't see any obvious use where I'll retouch. There's plenty of field chatter. It's been rattled around. Little Bryozoan fossil there. Wow, that's incredible. What a blade. Soft napped proximal bulb up here. Very subtle bulb. What a beauty. I wonder if I can find the other end. That would be something. It really looks like a fresh break, like it could have happened the last time the farm machinery came through here. No, I couldn't find the end of that blade, but I did just spot this down here. Looks almost like a hand axe. I think it's just a large flake. Now I think you can see that they've mined a glacially rolled pebble here. That is not hammerstone action on that, but that is all flaking up through there, and this is a large flake bulb up here. Interesting. Thanks, Ig. Bit of an interesting flake here. It's retouched across that top edge, and then on the other side down there, so some kind of cutting flake or scraper. It's an ugly flake overall. But this one down here, if I just move Ziggy's stick, this one was intriguing. Seems to have retouched down this lateral edge. Could be a small flake axe of some kind. Or it could be a backed knife. Alright, Zig. Yeah, I think that's a backed knife on a primary flake, where this thin edge would be the cutting edge. And this is backing for a finger to apply pressure. Cutting like this. Yeah, interesting. I'd have rather it had been a flake axe, but it's still a fun find. There's a nice little bladelet here. Nicely made bladelet. And really not far from it is this down here. It does appear to be a nice section of a core, perhaps. core with a flake taken off here. That would have been a lot longer originally. There's no edge prep up here either, so it's been snapped up here and then a flake taken here. So this is like the midsection of the core. You can see they were napping it in this direction because it's hinged there. Strange little piece. I've just found this little piece here. Just turn away from the breeze. I just thought it was going to be another piece of nothing. It's been in a fire, as you can see, but it has retouch on this edge. Difficult to see in the sunlight perhaps, but it's absolutely there. And then this edge as well. I think it's just missing a bit of the corner, and it would have been a early black phase Kongamosa arrowhead. So an arrowhead from the swamp field, that is a rarity. Fun to see. Yeah, about 6000 BC that one, BCE. They're not really sure how they were hafted, but I would assume that they were travelling in this direction. As an arrow tip. No, very unexpected that. I'll take some photos of this for the Arco. Cool. Very cool. Quite the myriad of finds down here in this little spot. Start with this one. It's got retouch down this edge. And then what seems to be a bit of use wear just in there above my thumb. So a kind of backed cutting flake of some kind would be my guess, where again the backing was for finger pressure to be applied for cutting. That one, I popped out this one as well. This is a shortish handled core. Turn away from the wind. Not the prettiest mining face, but a core. Lovely platform, lovely flat platform. And then the best find of all, I cleaned it off and put it here, but it's a tiny little microlith. It's retouched on that right hand edge at an angle and retouched along that shortest edge there. I'll try and get in there and zoom in and have a look, but it's going to be hard to see it. I think you could see the retouch there on that edge closest to the camera. Very fine. I think you must be able to see that there. Yeah, tiny little microlith. I wonder if it wouldn't have been longer and go to a point, but I do find this type in this size snapped here very often. I don't know if that's intentional or if it was just a longer microlith. It probably was longer. It just seems odd to find so many that are snapped in that area. Yeah, a very fun find, very cool to see that. That'll be Maglemossa. Some early Mesolithic hunting gear. There's a nice blade here, one of the better ones of the day so far. Light coloured grey flint. Slight bit of very fine scarring on that top edge. It's just catching the light there and looking a bit brighter than the rest of the flake. Try it in the shade. No, it's impossible to see, but it could be a bit of use wear there. Then there was this one down here. This looked like it could be a nice core. Oh my gosh. I mean, I saw this part of the mining face. Oh, there's a bit of a notch in there. Rough side here, but I do believe that this is all lovely blade removals as well. Oh, there's kind of cortex or hammered. Has that been hammered there on the end? That is very odd. Let's have a look at this. That is strange. It does appear to have been used as a hammerstone after it was a core. That's very odd. Don't see that very often. Odd hammering as well, but it must be because the flakes, it's on top of the flake scars. Bizarre. Anyway, just as I was bending over to take a closer look at that one, I plucked this out, and this could be a really nice disc scraper. It's funny because it's in a material where I've seen another scraper on this field that was kind of similar. Is it a scraper or is it just a flake? That could just be a circular flake, sadly. It really looked like it could have been a scraper for a moment. No, I think that's just a flake from a blade core. Parallel negatives down there. Thought it might be a Neolithic scraper, but no, not today. What's this? Thought that might be a small pectax for a split second. No, but that core, that was a beauty. This would have been a beautiful blade when it was complete. Look at that. There's a bit of farming damage on it maybe, or is it a burring attempt? I thought it was cutting patina this, but that could be a burring, you know, there's one on the other side as well. Interesting. Then there was this one as well, really close by. Just a section, I guess. Yeah, no retouch or anything, just another blade section. They can live together down here in the earth. I am so warm now. A couple of pieces here I thought were worth looking at. Nice blade, bit of a curve on the distal, but a nice blade all the same. And then this one, it's just a small flake. There might be some retouch down here at the distal. I think there is. But it's this part that I thought was interesting. There's like a strange Hertzian cone right there at the proximal end, caused by impact. Odd placement for a Hertzian cone. Looks like it has a wart or something. Yeah, that is retouched down there at the distal. So a cutting flake, or that could be backing. Yeah, funny thing. Just found this nice end scraper. Struck down this way. Core edge prep there. It's a lovely shaped flake, very classic end scraper shape. And then retouch at this end here. Not the most invasive retouch in the world, but it is there. Lots of small flakes. It could be that that's just use wear from work. Bit of a modern farming ding on the ventral side there, but a cool find. A little scraping tool. Yeah, fun to see. This is really a field for more everyday tools rather than arrowheads. Love that ventral view. Lovely stuff. Yeah. We could be on to our first proper arrowhead of the day here. I say proper arrowhead, we've already had a black face, haven't we? This could be an arrowhead, you know, that edge there does look like retouch. Let's do a slow extraction on this. I'd love this to have a nice angled edge at the end. What have we here? Okay, it's like an atypical microlith then. Good retouch on this edge. Really nice retouch on a kind of oval blade. So I do see that as a arrow shaft barb, but just not exactly in a, you know, in like a proper form. But still a very cool find. Maglemossa hunting gear again. Just not exactly the most refined one in the world. You know, not like a nice scalene triangle or a lancet or so, but fun to find all the same. Cool. This is a very nicely presented bladelet core down here, just sat on the surface like this. Little burned flake there as well. Oh, I don't really want to touch this. I can see the really nice blade removals down this side, and I have craned over and seen it does have quite a large platform. Let's pop this out. Wow, this is going to be an absolute stunner, I already know. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, what a beautiful core. Oh, yeah. My word, what a beauty. I did say there were some nice cores on this field. There's lots of blades as well, but I'd expect to see more small bladelets with all these very fine bladelet cores on the site. That is stunning. Such a flat platform as well. Look at that. So well prepared. Just incredible. That doesn't deviate much, you know, that top. A few thousandths of an inch. That is amazing. I love to see these, I really do. Just incredible. Oh, the sun's gone in, that's nice. It's still very warm though. Just found this, another strange atypical microlith looking thing. It has retouch to not quite the middle from this end, the pointy end, and then it just stops. I don't know if it's broken off here and the retouch would have continued a little bit, but I can't see what else that would be. Another arrow shaft barb, quickly knocked together. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna head up the field now, up this way. Haven't been up there yet today. I found one of my nicest flake axes up there once. I always mention it whenever I'm here. Late Urtabolla type, it was beautiful, white flint. No flake axe in the flake axe spot, unfortunately. But I'm taking a run up this hill here now. At the top of the hill there's a little spot I associate with Neolithic stuff. I found a reworked polish axe there. I think maybe even the first time I came here, or the second, years ago now. And the same day I found a lovely scraper. Little blade, oh no, just a flake. Yeah, lovely Neolithic disc scraper surfaced up there as well. So I always like to take a walk up here. There's not much around in general, but I've made it all the way back to my bag here, which has got my water in it. And I just spotted this chunky section of blade, which I thought I'd do a reveal on. That's broken at both the distal and the proximal. Would have been a nice blade though. Would have been a huge blade when it was complete. Again, just breaks. I think I've just spotted another cheeky little blade core down here. Oh, that's nice. Oh gosh, that is another beauty of a blade core. Wow. Oh gosh, that is lovely with that kind of mottled patina as well. Another Conga block, I guess. Yeah, Those blade negatives are quite something. Double-ended as well. Yeah, fun to see again. Gosh, I'm getting tired. I just want to find something really interesting. I've seen so many, you know, rough scrapers, retouched flakes, random things that I haven't bothered to show. What's this? There's never another handled core. Oh, for God's sake. It is. It's not as pretty as some. But yet another core. Platform up there. Wow. No, I'll give it an extra 10, 20. That's not an arrowhead, surely. Could be. No. Yeah, another 10 or 20 minutes and then I'm going to make the walk out of here. But it's been a good day already. Lots of nice cores. That huge blade. Massive blade. My word, that was a beauty. I almost stood on this blade core down here. It's a real cylindrical looking block. More Maglemossa than Congamossa, I dare say. Wow, that is funny. That is beautiful. My gosh. You can still see the prep work down this edge on the left, flaking this way. And then a lovely mining face. A steep angle on the platform again, but I don't see that as UP. I think that's early Meso Maglemossa. I think whatever it is, whatever culture, it's absolutely stunning. So thin from that view. Beautiful. I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit today. Too much chatting about rocks. No, time to call it a day now, I think. I've covered a lot of ground today. And all the flakes I'm seeing, or most of the flakes I'm seeing, are ones I recognise as pieces I've checked already. Oh, it's been a good day out here though. Loads of really nice cores. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't spot this one before. Chunk of dark material. Oh, it's been in a fire. Yeah, I didn't spot that because it's not the usual grey or black. Oh dear, just shows you what you can miss though. I just picked up my bag from down here by my foot. Put my bag on, looked up and saw this lovely blade down here. I've been walking back and forth from here all day and didn't spot this one. Lovely blade. One of the better ones of the day, really. That almost looks like retouch up in there at the proximal. Let's see if it breaks patina. Not really. Could have been utilised. Yeah, fun. There's still chance of something as I slowly meander out of the field here. I'll zigzag along to the corner in hopes of one last find. But no, it's been a good day. Nice to come and check this site. The good old swamp field. It's been a long time. Another little bladelet there. This one down here just has potential to be a nice scraper to finish the day. I thought it might just be, you know, like a primary flake like they often are, but then I saw that this edge is a bit jaggedy. Could be a nice scraper, this. Oh, it does look retouched. We could be looking at an EBA scraper here. Oh yeah, that's nice. Just one edge of retouch, or half of it, but let's give it a clean and take a closer look. Oh, that's nice. Nice little disc scraper, small one. I suppose it could be Mesolithic as well. A little bit of cortex on the edge there. That's not too shabby of a way of finishing. Nice little scraper. Really nice view from the ventral. Could have been in a fire very briefly, possibly. Hard to see the work on this. Very hard without the sun on it. No, cool. Right, we're running out of options now. We're almost back to the grass. No, the swamp field didn't disappoint. Some nice finds, amazing cores. That big blade. So many scrapers and retouch flakes and stuff I didn't show you. And cores as well, you know. Second-rate cores. Yeah, good day. Not much more to say then. Other than thanks for watching. And as always, see you next time.